Yeah, welcome to the dojo, baby, man. Have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here, man. Listen, I'm super excited to break this down, to analyze and review this video. I'm gonna do the full thing on Twitch. That's gonna be like about 2 to 3 hours long of me watching the entire thing and breaking it down. But for the sake of this video right here, I'm just gonna go over 4 different areas of why Andrew Tate, or how Andrew Tate dominated and destroyed XQC in this debate. And that's atmosphere, structure, poise, and specialization during this debate, or this courtroom meeting that you can call it, right? Now, Andrew Tate didn't even do everything perfectly. He didn't do everything great, right? It's just that XQC is not a debater, or you can tell he doesn't understand how structured debates and professional debates actually go. So it kind of treated it like just arguing on the street, which is nowhere near the same as having a debate, which is on a professional level, whether the collegiate level or, you know, you're on the nationals or regionals, whatever for your debate team and whatever the case may be. I'm not going to overcomplicate you guys or lose you guys with overcomplicated details of debates and this and the third, but we're going to break it down. We're going to look deep into it. You're going to see why they call me the sensei. And if you don't understand, even from the terms that I use, specialization, structure, poise, atmosphere, or how they play into this debate and why they matter, I'm going to break it down. So have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here. Let's get right into it. Now, before we do, though, I want to shout out to DOJO because we about to hit 230,000 subscribers. We smoking that 230K pack. It's gas or what? Y'all know what's going on, man. DOJO to the moon, to Saturn. We leaving the solar system. The limits don't even know we exist. I love y'all, man, from the ground up, from the muscle, all from the mud. But let's get right into this video, though, because I'm so excited to break it down. I don't even want to just talk too much, right? Let's get right to it, right? Atmosphere and poise. These two go hand in hand, right? And I'm going to show this specific clip where Andrew Tate perfectly set the atmosphere of the debate. And the funny part is, XQC is taking the affirmative position here, or essentially the prosecutor position, right? He's trying to prove the client guilty. So in a debate or in a prosecution, the affirmative or prosecutor, they bear the burden of proof. Meaning, you have to prove this person is guilty. I don't have to prove them innocent. You have to prove them guilty. Or in a debate, there's an affirmative and then there's a negative. The negative side negates the affirmative, right? And in this situation, see, that's going to be more structure when I get into the structure part. But I'm saying this to say, when I play this clip, you'll see how Andrew Tate perfectly changed the atmosphere of the debate. And I'm going to explain how he did it and why what he said is so perfect for the point I'm about to make right now. Now I'm going to just play it first, though. Watch this.
To justify myself.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Watch
top
this.
to your broke internet.
Mods, two predictions. Who's gonna win? XQC.
Well, I don't think
Tate?
I don't really feel, my friend, like I'm compelled to justify myself to you. If I
Let me
did
start with introductions first. Where are you from? What country?
You see that? Now, dude cut him off, and Tate is gonna mention that, right? But do y'all see what the first thing he decided to do, right? Now, just to give you some context before I even explain this whole atmosphere part. XQC is a popular Twitch streamer. So is Aiden. They're popular Twitch streamers. Andrew Tate is I don't even know where to start with him, right? He's been going viral on the internet for, you know, a lot of things that he says, right? And y'all even know I said myself, I don't agree with everything he says on the topic of women. When he gets into the motivational things, that's a whole different ballpark. I like when Andrew Tate goes in his motivational mindset on life kind of thing, not the topics and aspects of women. And I can even get into that in another video. But for the sake of this video, XQC watched Andrew Tate, which is the bald guy. The bald guy is Andrew Tate. XQC is the guy with the blonde hair. I'm explaining this as if you're an alien and you don't even know what's going on. I'm giving this context. Aiden Ross is the white guy with the bright ass background. He'll be on like the left side, all the way over here to the left, right? Now, what happened is XQC came on stream, called out Aiden and said, why did you let Andrew Tate come on stream the other day and you didn't even, argue back on him with some of his points? You just dick rided him and agreed with everything he said. So he called him out like that. Then Aiden said, well, do you want to debate him? He's like, XQC was like, bet. And I respect that. As a man of his word, they waited. They literally waited about, I forget how long. I think it was over an hour for Andrew Tate to wake up, because he's in Romania, so it's a whole different time zone. Waited for him to wake up and be on screen to have this debate. So to give this context and why this atmosphere point, why I'm about to make this point is, before it happened, right? XQC was saying, well, I don't want Tate to feel like he's coming here and getting ambushed because he's going to see all these people on the screen and then we're attacking him and blah, blah, blah. So he was trying to be like, considerate. But let me tell you something. Whether you read The Art of War or not, whether you are competitive, combative, alpha male, I eat nails for breakfast, cold showers every day kind of guy, man, when you see an ant step on one, it's a war. It's a debate. Listen, because guess what? You know how XQC should have done it? And this goes into how Andrew Tate set the atmosphere and took the lead here. Because when he came in the room, nobody was leading, right? So they said, let's just do introductions, which Andrew was about to do, right? But they said, let's just do introductions. And Andrew Tate set the tone off rip. In the very beginning, he said, listen, my friend, I don't feel compelled to justify myself to you. So guess what that says? Directly and indirectly. I am not here to prove anything. I am not here to explain myself. I don't have to prove anything. I'm just here because I want to be. I don't owe you anything. This is a choice for me. This is so what? And he did that because coming into this, it's not that I'm on the defense. It's not that I'm trying to prove myself or I'm going to be rambling to explain anything. It's that, what do you want? But we're going to make it clear that I'm not here to prove anything or explain anything. So why am I here, right? This is where, as the affirmative, as the prosecutor, XQC, or whoever even disagreed with Tate on any specific point, and we'll get into that for the specialization part, was supposed to take the lead and say, here's how they were supposed to do it. Here's what they were supposed to say. What's going on, Andrew Tate? My name is XQC. I'm a popular Twitch streamer. I watched your live stream with Aiden the other day, and I disagree with you on certain points, right? Now, before I do that, I don't want to just jump into the attack. I'm going to ask you some questions, because in court and in a debate, they call this cross-examining, right? And the whole point of cross-examining is that, number one, if you're really good at it, you're doing this, you're asking them questions on the stand in order for them to prove themselves guilty. So you're asking them certain questions which can trip them up or, get their tongue twisted and have them against the ropes. And you're using this for in the future for when you're ready to counter, right? You might not even use it for your opening statement of, here's where I disagree with you and why. That's not a counter. That's just you explaining your standpoint, right? That's you bringing your standpoint to the courtroom. But when you get into the counter, that's when you're attacking his specific points. However, because the whole structure is off, when it comes in and Andrew Tate sets the atmosphere and XQC is not leading, he's already losing. Because he's not guiding the debate or the conversation how he wants to guide in order to win. He's just trying to be considerate. Well, I want to take it slow because, like I said, if you didn't watch the full thing, XQC did not want Andrew Tate to come in and feel like he was getting ambushed or attacked during this debate. He wanted him to come in and just say, he wanted it to be calm. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to take the lead. And even if you want to be considerate, explain it to him. I disagree with what I saw you say on stream, and here's the points that I disagree with you on. I don't want to jump at your neck, so I want to ask you a couple questions regarding these specific points. XQC was not prepared for this, so he couldn't even, he did not have the preparation in order to do that, right? Let's get into this. This is where we're really going to get geeky, and I'm going to show you why I fucking know what I'm talking about, and why I obsess over, like, breaking down videos, debates, communication, and things of that nature. So we're going to get into that, right? Let me take a sip of water, because now I'm about to go in. Without even getting into the content, right? The points being made, the counters, the cross-exec, the affirmative, the negative, the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the prove me wrong, prove me innocent. Without even getting into that. Poise was one of the four things I said. And I said atmosphere played in the part with the poise because with Andrew setting the poise, I don't have anything to prove, he already takes away the pressure of that in the debate. Even though he still has to, if XQC would have played it right, defend his points, which he ended up doing anyway, but it turned into him educating XQC because he wasn't prepared to approach him. And now XQC, if you watch this, that is not even to disrespect you to say you weren't prepared. You weren't prepared. You to do this in a real professional, structured debate kind of like thing, right? I say that to say, notice Andrew Tate's poise. If I skip into a random part of this clip later on, right? Same posture, same composure, right? Look at him. Hold on, excuse me. Where was I just at? Sitting there smoking a cigar, getting a massage, right? Now, misogynistic. It's like, all right, but listen. Let's really get into it though. Poise is, if you don't know what poise is, right? I'm gonna explain this to you. Now, if you're not new in the dojo, let me fix this for y'all. If you're not new in the dojo, you already know what poise is. But if you don't know what poise is, then your favorite content creator has failed you because they didn't educate you on, you know what I'm saying, terminology and words like that. I'm gonna simplify poise though. I have extensive videos in this on Patreon. Patreon is a whole nother page of content, knowledge, and game and breakdowns. So I'm gonna just summarize poise for y'all right here. Poise is essentially like your composure, how you carry yourself, right? And it all comes from like your posture, your tone of voice, how you say certain words, the way you even frame your sentences, which show how you think about yourself. Poise is almost like they describe it in ways like a ballet dancer's poise because they move so lightly and so elegant with rhythm, right? So, however, for this example, Andrew Tate's poise here is very calm, very collected. He's speaking in consistent rhythm. He's not yelling or rushing his words. He's not stuttering or you know trying to his poise is very clean. His poise is very straightforward. He waits, he observes, he explains his points well, and he communicates very directly. And compare that to XQC's poise at the bottom. XQC is, now I've seen him before, so I know XQC just talks like this normally, right? He's not, it's not like he was just doing this because he was nervous or losing the debate. He just talks like this normally. He talks very fast. He stutters a lot, you know what I'm saying? And he talks with, you know, a lot of energy. He'll go crazy like, well, if you did it, like that's just how he communicates on the internet. That's normal for him. A lot of people looked at that and said, oh, he's losing, he's nervous, he's blah, blah, blah. So that's why he's saying that. No, he just acts like that on a normal. He's crazy like that, right? So I said it to say, with Andrew Tate's poise being so clean and so well composed, it's just like he's sitting back letting XQC talk himself into circles because, and this even plays into the knowledge specialization part. Remember what I said earlier about the affirmative bearing the burden of proof, having to prove the person guilty, right? XQC bear the burden of proof here. Not only because Andrew Tate changed the atmosphere of the debate, he actually even controlled the structure because Andrew Tate didn't lead properly. So what was the structure like? The structure should have been XQC is the prosecutor, Andrew Tate is the person he's trying to prove guilty, to simplify this. So as the prosecutor, XQC was supposed to, number one, know where exactly he disagreed with Andrew Tate, know why he disagreed, and he was supposed to come out first. It wasn't supposed to be Andrew Tate coming out first because Andrew Tate has nothing to prove here. Not because he said he doesn't, but because he's not the prosecutor. He's not the one who disagrees. So in a debate, let's say there's a policy, right? We should ban straws, right? If you're arguing that we should ban straws, you have to explain why we should ban them and then what we should do after we ban them, providing an alternative. Andrew Tate in this situation is not supposed to come in and say, if he's agreeing that if he's saying straws should not be banned, If you're the person who's saying straws should be banned, he should not be leading because you have to prove why straws should be banned. I hope that makes sense to y'all. This goes into the structure because Andrew was able to dominate and destroy XQC because XQC had no structure. He just kind of like tried to take it easy on him in the beginning of the debate, and then let Andrew Tate lead, and then he started cross-examining, and then he started asking questions. But then he that's the one thing XQC I would say he did good. He asked the questions which he needed to ask, not every question, right? But later in the video, you'll see this when I react to it live. He asked questions which allowed Andrew Tate to explain how he thinks in order to benefit XQC's counter or XQC's rebuttal, right? I say that to say, because he didn't lead and structure the debate properly, by the time he started cross-examining Andrew Tate's points, it didn't even matter. You're fighting an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? And I say this to say, he was not prepared enough. And this is where we get into specialization. He was not knowledgeable enough on what he was trying to do, not only in the topics that he was debating, right? When it comes to, the specifics of the areas that he was debating. And let me get into this. Let me show you a specific part, and I'll show you why and why this makes the difference. Why knowing what you're talking about in a debate makes the difference.
Go outside, right? Or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the...
Well, right. The reason I wanted to play this part is because, you see, if Andrew Tate is going to use this metaphor during the debate or during the court case, X versus T, right? Because Andrew Tate is knowledgeable on his points, because he knows what he's talking about, because he specializes in how he thinks, because he specializes in how he thinks, it is that much harder for XQC to prove him wrong or attack him, especially if he has a weak case. If you go to court and the prosecutor has no evidence, they already lost. Because they can't prove anything. They're just talking in circles. And then you could just denounce the credibility of the evidence. In this particular debate, what that looks like is XQC bringing weak disagreements to the table, and then Andrew Tate saying and brushing that off because he knows what he's talking about in his specific points. Not saying he's right or correct, but because XQC is coming to him with a weak case, Andrew Tate can just dismiss it. Not only can he just dismiss it, but he can get creative in how he's explaining what he's explaining because he knows what he's talking about. He can use metaphors. He can use all different types of metaphors, analogies. He can even point out why XQC is wrong about his misinterpretation. So this is why the cross-examine is important, because it allows you to understand how the how your opponent, whether it's the prosecutor going over to you or you going over to the prosecutor, how your opponent is thinking. You're questioning them. And if you're really good at it, you can question them in a way which makes them look guilty or shows or gives you some information which helps you counter them. So you're asking them things. If you're really tricky with it, right? If you're really good at this. And when I would do debates in my college courses, I was really good at this. I would ask people questions that would make them look stuck. Because guess what? The jury or the class, which is, voting on who won a debate, if they see them look stuck and hesitate and stutter, I already won. Whether or not I'm right or wrong, I just made them look stupid though. But not only do I do that, I ask them questions which make them think. And I ask them a question which counters their side. So now they even have to think of it. Listen, I'm not even going to make this super complicated, but if you're really good at cross-examining and questioning the opposing side, you do it in a way which makes them explain themselves even more, because if they start talking too much, you can draw something from their over-explanation and use that against them. Just think about it as simple as that. I say that to say, with the lack of structure, with the losing atmosphere, with Andrew Tate's poise, and with XQC's lack of knowledge in this debate. He was just getting dominated. And not just lack of knowledge. I'm not saying lack of knowledge of women, lack of knowledge of, the topic. He did not even know specifically where he wanted to debate Andrew Tate. People on the call, people on the Discord call had to come in and say and bring up examples where they disagreed. Oh, woman driving, and take that example. Oh, let's take this example. Girl having a best friend and guy best friend. And let's take, they had to give XQC examples. You don't do that. You don't, bro, listen. You have to come with your shit ready to prove the other side guilty because you bear the burden of proof. Otherwise, guess what? It's easier for Tate to wiggle out. He can easily just weasel out, wiggle out, throw a smoke bomb and just pop up over there because you didn't even put him in a corner to begin with. You didn't even nail him down. You didn't even come with the guns, man. You ain't got the guns or the butter. You ain't got nothing. And when we actually react to this full thing, you'll be able to see what points I'm making and where they show themselves up. But I wanted to explain this fundamental understanding because you don't want to just look at how XQC is delivering his points. He's yelling, he's stuttering and stuff like that because that doesn't have anything to do with him being right or wrong. And especially when you look at the key words detail by detail and what points are actually being made. And when you actually look at that, you see that Andrew Tate is not as perfect as his poise shows he is. Because guess what? One thing that Andrew Tate does a lot, and like I said, let's draw the line in the sand here. I love when Andrew Tate is explaining his motivation, his mentality, and his competitive nature of himself, right? But when it comes to his takes on women, when it comes to the points that he's making, that's where I disagree. That's when I draw the line. Now, I'm not having a debate with him, so I'm not getting specific here. But the point I'm making is one thing he does when he's communicating is he'll go so let's say it's 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4 because I have one finger, one finger, one finger, one finger. These are 4 fingers. That's a very straightforward way of explaining why 2 + 2 = 4, right? Andrew Tate will go. Let me fix my camera. Let me turn the camera back on. Here it goes. Andrew Tate will go 2 + 2 = 4. So when you look at the chances of having 3 + 3, and he starts drifting into a tangent which doesn't prove his original point. Or he'll start doing, ad hominems in the debate. That's the type of fallacy, right? Or, excuse me. What he'll do is he'll attack the person rather than the topic. So, you're young. You're this. You're that, right? He doesn't even do this a lot because I would even admit that Andrew Tate handled this debate really well because he even said that later in the debate that if I was a 26-year-old XQC and I wanted to, this is Andrew Tate giving the XQC game. He said if I was a 26-year-old XQC and I wanted to call out Andrew Tate on his points, number one, I would have a list of points. Number two, he even broke down the whole way of how he should have approached him, and he was right. And since since XQC lacked that preparation, it led to a weak-ass losing debate. Now, later down the line, like I said, when XQC started doing the cross-examining part, he did a really good job at asking those certain questions, which would have Andrew Tate explain his side more, but he did it too late. And he didn't come prepared enough. Because you bear the burden of proof. You were supposed to put him in the corner and say, get out of it. You were supposed to throw your guns and shots at him and say, now shoot back. But you didn't even shoot. You let him shoot. You let him pick the guns that you use. And you weren't, listen. That's all I'm going to say for this specific video. Let me know if y'all want the full 2 to 3 hour. It could even be 4 hours. I'm telling y'all, be prepared. If y'all say y'all want that full thing on YouTube as I'll react to it on Twitch, that y'all want it on YouTube, because I'm going to go in and I'm going to get very specific. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to say, all right, look, pay attention to this. I'm going to let it point play. I might run it back. But we're going to get into it. Because this is where I obsess. This is where I start getting real nerdy, real geeky, real weird. Because I love paying attention to communication. I love these kind of things. Debates, argumentation in itself. Courtroom type situations. I love this shit. I could have been a lawyer. But I say that to say, if you want that full video, let me know in the comments. Make sure y'all check out the Patreon content, Instagram, Twitter. Follow me on everything. I love y'all. Dojo to the moon, to Saturn. We leaving the solar system. 230K pack in the air. Bait.